Tonight we're walking into a room where not every candle is lit for healing, and not every prayer is spoken with clean hands. Some smiles hide contracts, some blessings hide bargains. Some circles don't gather to awaken souls. They gather to keep people asleep. We're pulling back the velvet curtain on the ancient game of counterfeit light, where envy dresses itself like wisdom, manipulation wears sacred symbols, and control borrows the language of love. Because every generation has had them. The ones who know enough truth to imitate it, but not enough integrity to live it. So tonight, don't come looking for monsters with horns. Come looking for motives, because the most dangerous spell was rarely whispered over a candle. It was spoken over a reputation. It was planted inside a rumor. It was wrapped inside flattery. It was disguised as, I'm only trying to help. Now that's a spell that'll have folks volunteering to carry their own chains. Humanity really does have an impressive talent for gift-wrapping manipulation and calling it good intentions. Ancient wisdom has always taught one quiet truth. Power does not corrupt nearly as often as it reveals. The altar doesn't create the heart. It exposes it. The prayer doesn't invent the motive. It amplifies it. The ritual doesn't determine whether someone walks in light or shadow. It simply hands the microphone to whatever was already living inside them. That is why the wisest elders spent less time asking, what spell are they casting? And more time asking, what spirit is moving the hand that casts it? Because the greatest protection has never been fear. It has always been discernment. Tonight, collective. We're not studying darkness to become fascinated with it. We're studying it so counterfeit light can never wear the face of truth again. The scroll is opening, and every hidden motive is about to meet the sunrise.
Channeled by your architect musician, 36110, 27 palms of eyes. Your golden whisperer, sea star, Devalan see all. Apply the news you can use, truth and accuracy. The real non-bedazzled jewels.
The Coven of the Eastern Stars. Scroll, the ones who cast spells with clean hands and dirty motives collective, gather close. Tonight we are stepping into the velvet hallway where the incense is expensive, the smiles are rehearsed, and everybody claims they only work in love and light, while their altar got more beef than a Chicago block party in July. This is the Coven of the Eastern Stars. Not a real-world accusation. Not a witch hunt. We are not pointing at every mystical auntie with crystals, every prayer warrior with Florida water, or every elder who knows how to whisper over a fever. No, beloved, we have sense over here. We are talking about the archetype, the hidden circles that use spiritual language as perfume over rotten intention. Because some folks do not do spell work for healing. They do it for control. And baby, that is where the broom gets greasy. The East has always been the direction of dawn and revelation, resurrection, new sight. The star in the East is the symbol of guidance. It says, come this way, light is being born. But every sacred symbol has a counterfeit booth. You know how it goes. Somebody always opens a knockoff shop right next to the temple. Same font, cheaper spirit, worse customer service. The Eastern Star in its holy sense represents wisdom rising. But the dirty ones? They want the star without the sunrise. They want the glow without the growth. They want the crown without the character. Spiritual fraudulence with a velvet pouch. The metaphysical version of wearing designer shades in a dark room and still bumping into the furniture. Now let us speak plain. Dirty spellwork is not just candles, jars, powders, mirrors, and muttered names. That is the costume department. The real spell starts earlier. The first spell is attention. They watch who is glowing. They watch who is healing. They watch who is getting free. They watch who stopped answering foolishness with emotional customer service. Then comes the second spell, narrative. They start telling stories around your name. Not always loud. Dirty workers do not always scream. Some whisper with seasoning. She changed. He thinks he better than us. They acting strange. I had a dream about them. My spirit told me something was off. Now here come the spiritual gossip Olympics. Everybody suddenly got a vision. Everybody suddenly a prophet. Everybody got Wi-Fi to the heavens, but cannot locate accountability with Google Maps. Collective. Understand this. Some spells are done with mouths before they are ever done with candles. A lie repeated with emotion can become a low-level enchantment over a community. That is why the old traditions treated speech as sacred. Words were not just noise. Words were carriers. In ancient temples, courts, markets, and family circles, the tongue was understood as a blade, a blessing, a bell, or a burial shovel. Some people bless with their mouth. Some people bind with it. Some people throw dirt and call it discernment. That is not spirituality. That is a smear campaign wearing a moon necklace. Now let us go deeper. The dirty ones who do spells usually move through 3 rooms. The first room is envy. Envy is not just, I want what you have. That is the baby version. Envy says, I cannot stand that you have access to yourself. That is what really burns them. Not your clothes, not your money, not your relationship, not your gift. They are mad because you have a light they cannot manage, rent, seduce, borrow, steal, or supervise. So instead of doing their own shadow work, which is free, but apparently too expensive for their ego, they try to tamper with your field. The second room is control. This is where obsession work, domination work, confusion work, glamour games, and energetic manipulation show up in folklore across cultures. Let us be grown. Those traditions exist in history. Cursed tablets existed in the ancient Mediterranean. Binding prayers existed. Love coercion charms existed. Court case workings existed. Folk magic traditions included protection, healing, justice work, and yes, sometimes messy interpersonal work. But the existence of a thing does not make it righteous. A knife can cut bread or cut a throat. A drum can call healing or call war. A prayer can bless a baby or justify a conquest. The tool is never more holy than the hand holding it. And some hands are sticky, beloved, sticky like gas station soda spilled on a summer dashboard. The third room is performance. This is where dirty workers pretend everything is divine while moving like spiritual pickpockets. They say, I am just protecting myself, while trying to sabotage someone who walked away. They say, I am returning energy, while manufacturing drama they started. They say, I am guided, but somehow every guide they hear agrees with their ego. Convenient little spirit board they got there. Very customer-friendly ancestors, apparently. And let us not forget the fake purity act. Some people will wear white from head to toe, burn sage by the pound, speak softly, blink slowly, and still be spiritually throwing chairs behind the curtain. Beloved, a soft voice does not mean a clean spirit. A head wrap does not mean a healed heart. A crystal collection does not mean emotional maturity. A person can own 7 decks, 3 bells, 2 bowls, and still be the problem in every room. The ancestors are not fooled by aesthetics. The altar sees the motive. Now listen close, collective. The dirty ones do not only use spell work, they use systems. They isolate, they triangulate, they flatter one person while poisoning another. They invite you into sisterhood or brotherhood, but the membership fee is your intuition. They make you doubt your own dream life, your own body signals, your own peace. That is how coercive circles work. Whether mystical, religious, social, romantic, or family-based, the pattern is often the same. Love bomb, confuse shame, monitor, punish, repeat. A spiritual laundromat for control issues. And if you notice it, suddenly you are negative. If you leave, you are ungrateful. If you protect yourself, you are dark. If you expose the manipulation, you are attacking the group. No, beloved. Sometimes attacking the group means you stopped letting the group attack your nervous system. Let the record show. Boundaries are not hexes. Discernment is not paranoia. Silence is not weakness. Distance is not hatred. Sometimes distance is your spirit saying, I am not standing in this energetic alley while y'all play with matches. Now here come the receipts. In old magical traditions, names were treated as power. To know a name was to aim attention. That is why so many cultures protected true names, birth names, sacred names, and ancestral names. The name was not just identification. It was a thread. In ancient cursed tablets, people wrote names into lead and called upon forces to bind rivals in court, love, business, sport, or conflict. In Greek magical papyri, you see prayers, invocations, and ritual formulas aimed at influence, protection, attraction, and control. In medieval grimoires, you see the obsession with commanding spirits, drawing seals, forcing outcomes, and bending invisible hierarchies. In folk traditions across the world, you see protective charms beside coercive charms because people have always been people. Half divine longing, half let me make my ex text me back. Embarrassing species behavior, but educational. The deep lesson is this: spell work has always revealed the moral condition of the worker. Healing work says, may balance return. Protection work says, may harm be blocked. Justice work says, may truth be revealed. Dirty work says, may my will override your freedom. That is the line. That is the difference. That is the whole courthouse. Any magic that requires someone else to become less free so you can feel more powerful is not wisdom. It is insecurity with props. The dirty worker does not trust love, so they manipulate attachment. They do not trust destiny, so they force doors. They do not trust their own magnetism, so they steal attention. They do not trust God, source, the divine, the ancestors, or the law of return, so they try to hotwire the universe like a stolen Kia. And then they act shocked when the engine catches fire. Here is the part many do not say. Dirty spell work often works first on the worker. Before it reaches the target, it deforms the hand that throws it. Obsession work makes the worker obsessed. Confusion work makes the worker confused. Domination work enslaves the dominator to the need for control. Glamour work traps the worker inside the mask. Revenge work ties the worker to the wound they refuse to heal. That is why some people get darker after doing work. Not because power made them great, but because motive exposed them. The spell did not elevate them. It amplified what was already crawling in the basement. And now the basement has a microphone. Collective. You do not defeat dirty workers by becoming dirty. That is how they recruit you into their mud wrestling league. Do not let a dusty spirit make you take off your crown and roll around in energetic potato salad. You defeat dirty work through alignment. Keep your name clean by living in truth. Keep your body grounded. Keep your home peaceful. Keep your circle honest. Keep your prayers direct. Keep your ancestors honored. Keep your intuition sober. Keep your mouth disciplined. And most importantly, stop telling your sacred business to people who clap when you bleed. Everybody smiling at your testimony is not celebrating your healing. Some are taking notes for the next attack. Move wiser, not colder, wiser. The clean worker protects without violating. The clean worker prays without stalking. The clean worker discerns without gossiping. The clean worker lights a candle and also does the laundry, pays the bill, apologizes when wrong, and does not pretend Mercury retrograde wrote that rude text. Because real spirituality makes you more accountable, not more dramatic. Let us land this plainly. The Coven of the Eastern Stars, as an archetype, is not about witches. It is about counterfeit light. It is about people who know spiritual language but lack spiritual ethics. It is about those who use the holy to hide the hungry parts of themselves. They do not want healing, they want access. They do not want truth. They want leverage. They do not want union. They want possession. They do not want the divine. They want a remote control. And the universe, beloved, is not a remote control. It is a mirror with consequences. So when the dirty ones gather, let them gather. When they whisper, let them whisper. When they light candles against you, let them pay the electric bill on their own downfall. You do not have to panic when someone throws darkness at a lit person. Darkness does not defeat light. It only proves where the light is needed. A star does not argue with smoke. It burns higher. A dawn does not debate night. It arrives. And a healed soul does not chase every barking shadow down the alley. It keeps walking because the mission is bigger than the noise. Collective. Remember this. A dirty spell can disturb the dust, but it cannot steal a destiny that is guarded by truth. A jealous circle can chant your name, but they cannot become you. A counterfeit star can sparkle for a season, but only the real dawn can wake the whole sky. So keep your spirit clean. Keep your discernment sharp. Keep your laughter close, because laughter breaks fear like a cheap plate at a family reunion. And when the dirty ones start stirring pots in secret, smile in your soul and say, "Bless your little smoky operation. I am still covered." The East belongs to the rising. The star belongs to the guided. The power belongs to the clean-hearted. And the collective? The collective is not here to be controlled. The collective is here to wake up, stand up, glow up, and walk straight past the altar of foolishness with clean shoes and ancient protection. So let the dirty ones do what they do. Truth has receipts. Light has witnesses. And destiny does not take orders from jealous hands. The scroll is sealed.
Until next time, your Sea Star Curacy, channeled by 3611027, the Beautiful Whisperer. Our Sea Star Devalan Seal. Apply the news you can use.